Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. So virtually a year to the day since the horrendous Super League attempt by greedy football owners was stopped by football fans. We've had the announcement from UEFA of their new Champions League format, which will come in the next couple of years. And to be honest, I'm going to describe it as Super League 2.0. We said it at the time when the Super League was stopped. Would it really be stopped? Did those clubs, Manchester United, the Real Madrids and a few other clubs, as we know, got involved, and they basically went for, we're trying to start our own league away from UEFA with no relegation, where we're going to play games all over the world and turn it into a big franchise. And you look at it now and you go, did they do that because they almost played the uproar? They knew the uproar would come, they knew they wouldn't get their way, but they would end up changing UEFA's mind and pushing it towards what they want. And what we've ended up with is something that I just don't like it. I mean, so look, let's go through what it is. The Champions League is going to increase from 32 to 36 teams. The current system of having 4 teams in 8 groups and then the top 2 qualify and go into a last 16 will disappear. Will basically, from what I understand it, have one league of 36 teams in the Champions League. Then you'll play 8 games. So you won't play 35 games, you'll play 8 games, 4 home and 4 away. So if you're Manchester United in the Champions League, I wish, but let's use a better example. So if you're Chelsea in the Champions League, there's 36 teams in the league, you'll play 8 teams. You might play Ajax, you might play AC Milan, whoever. You'll play 8 teams, but you won't play everyone in there. Which is weird in itself. A very American football's a little bit like that, isn't it? You don't play everybody in one season. It changes because you can't literally play everybody. And I think it works like that in basketball and other sports as well. So a league of 36 teams, you play 8 games. The top 8 after 8 games go through to the knockout stage. The next 16 teams, so from position 8 to 24, play a playoff against each other, and the 8 winners go through to the top 8 to play final 16, final 8. It's just convoluted. I cannot, as a football fan, I cannot stand people messing with the beautiful game and overcomplicating a game that's very, very simple. The Champions League format, 8 groups of 4, top 2 go through, last 16, last 8, last 4, last 2, last 1 winner. Simple to follow. We're now going to a system where it's a league of 36 teams, but you only play 8 of them. The top 8 go through. The next 16 play a playoff to knock them down to 8 to join the other 8 to go last 16, last 8, last 4, last 2. It's money. Money is destroying football. I can't get on board with it. I mean, look, I wasn't overly sure about the away goals. I wasn't overly sure about VAR. VAR I'm still not quite sure about. The away goals scrap is good, but that's not this. When there's a group stage in the Champions League and you've got your 3 other teams, you're playing them home and away, and you've got to finish in the top 2. How does this work? A league of 36 teams where you play 8 games, and if you win your first 4 and you're top of the league and Real Madrid are fighting to be top of the league with you, well, it doesn't really matter because it's only the top 8 go through, and Real Madrid are playing completely different teams to you. It just feels very franchise. It feels very American sports. And I like American sports. I love the NFL. But I don't like this. And it's underpinned by money. And I don't like this. And it's not as bad as the Super League, but it's certainly got themes of the Super League, which is very much just about money. It's about more games. So basically, you're guaranteed 8 games, whereas it's 6 games under the current format, so it's more money. That's what that's about. I don't like it. But then there's other aspects to it as well. Remember we were talking a couple of weeks ago about they wanted to give an extra 2 spots out to teams. So 32 teams get in at the moment. They know the format of that. There's another 4 places to be given out. They wanted to give 2 to the coefficients, so basically it would always be a Premier League or a Spanish club who'd get it. They've come up with a new way now where 2 of the positions will go to the 2 best performing countries in Europe the previous year. Now, if they were doing it next year, that would be an English club, so 5th place would get Champions League this year. So Arsenal and Spurs battle had become irrelevant. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then apparently the next best performing country is the Netherlands, which I can't understand why, because they've got no finalist in any of the tournaments, have they? I don't think. Eintracht Frankfurt, Europa League, Roma. Maybe they've got a finalist in that, but I don't know how that works. But the Dutch would get an extra spot as well, and then I think they're given a spot, but I just don't like it. I really just don't like it. So if this comes in a couple of years' time, this Arsenal-Spurs game would become irrelevant. The race for top four would become irrelevant. Spurs and Arsenal have basically got it on lockdown, 4th and 5th. So I don't like it. I really don't. And I'm very interested to see what people think in the chat, and I hope I've explained it well. In fact, I will actually read it out again. So the Champions League is going to increase from 32 to 36 teams. There'll be no group stages anymore. They'll all play in one league of 36, but you won't play everybody because that would be impossible. That would actually be a Super League. You will play 8 teams picked around. I mean, the Champions League draw, when this starts, you may as well book the week off work. I mean, how they're going to pick this? What 8 teams you play out of those 36? I don't know. So you'll play 8 games instead of 6. 8 games, and after those 8 games, everybody will have a points total. The top 8 will go through to the knockout stage. The bottom 12 will go out, and the middle 16 teams will play a playoff each other, which will take it down to 8, and then those 8 winners will join the other 8 that were top 8, and then you'll go 16, quarter-final, semi-final, final. And on top of that, of course, they're giving out 4 additional spots, 2 of which will be basically going to the teams that have done well, the countries that have performed best in the previous year. I don't like it. I don't like it. For me, it's just going to make the rich get richer. I can't stand the relegation system we have in the Premier League now. The same teams that are going down are coming up next year or the year after because of parachute payments. This is just a way for the rich to get richer. And I think it's a problem in football anyway. But I remember Ajax winning the Champions League. When is that ever going to happen again? What are they going to do about the equality in sports, in football? They're not going to do anything about it. This is about Real Madrid, Manchester United, and all the other big clubs getting richer, being guaranteed Champions League football year after year after year, and it's not going to change anything other than the rich institutions in football will keep getting richer, whether that's Real Madrid, UEFA, or whoever. And there was a lot of marching, there was a lot of protest last year about this sort of thing, and I just feel a year later we've basically had a Super League 2.0 sanctioned by UEFA, and I don't like it. I can't stand... for me, the greed is one thing, but I can't stand the football format. I cannot stand the idea of one league of 36 teams for 8 games. I mean, how are fans supposed to get excited about that? So week 1 of the new Champions League format, Real Madrid are playing Ajax, and Liverpool are playing Marseille. Oh, we're top of the league because we beat Ajax. No, we're top of the league because we beat Marseille. We're never going to play each other in this 36-team league, but we'll both be in the top 8 to go through. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's sad. It's sad because I just don't think, again, football fans are the victims, and also the we're not listened to. It's just business people again making big decisions about football to make money for themselves and the other big institutions. I can't stand it. I cannot stand this format. I don't think I'll end up liking it. Look, sometimes we're all resistant to change, but I don't like this format at all. I think it'll be all right. It'll be okay when we get to the last 16. Once we hit February, March again, it'll be fine. But it hasn't solved the problem of the first half of the season in the Champions League at all. At least in the current group format, you played 3 other teams and you were competing to finish in the top 2. In a league of 36, you're just playing lots of different teams that other people aren't going to play because it's impossible to play them all. You play 8 games, you just got to finish in the top 8, and then if you don't, you play a knockout. I mean, look, I'm not saying it's not competitive. I just think it's ultimately about getting another 2 extra games in for everybody so they can earn a little bit more Champions League revenue. And it's, you know what? I'll mention it finally, it's also more games for footballers who are being run into the ground as it is. I mean, look at Liverpool. They're playing a competitive game at the end of this season every 3 or 4 days. You're now going to stick another 2 games in for them in the first half of the season. So 6 games in the Champions League currently will go up to 8. And what if Liverpool finish 9th in that league? They've then got to play another 2 games before they get to the last 16. So potentially you're adding 4 games to everybody's season. How is that a good thing? It just seems to be more and more games, more and more money, And the players should be looking at this as well. Shouldn't just be the fans. Anyway, get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and give us your thoughts. Really interested to see what you think about the change in the format. Is it a Super League 2.0 or is it good? Is it change for good? Thanks for watching.